Wow, isn't that a nice intro music, Judd, that you definitely heard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I made that. I made that
I
with
know you
my
did, yeah.
own fingers and hands and
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah.
Welcome back to this podcast. This one that we do every week. We definitely didn't miss it last week. Nope.
Last week as well.
How you doing? How you doing, Judd? I've seen you.
You
more
have seen
recently
me,
than
yeah.
normal this time.
Yeah, no, you have. You punched me in the face. this time not to hurt me though.
That sounds like I saw you somewhere and immediately just punched you in the gob. Oh,
yeah.
dear.
To be fair, if I weren't me and I just saw me on the street, that's what I'd do. I just fucking walk over street. Oh hey man, how's it going? Just punch you in the.
Fair enough. I think that should be standard
Yeah.
practice for us, really.
Yeah.
No, we've not even explained what we're actually on about. Rather,
No.
we've started doing a bit of boxing together, haven't we? And when I
Yeah.
say that, it's mostly like me teaching you some boxing. Not that I know very much about boxing at all, but you know,
Yeah.
I know enough to show you some stuff. So
Yeah.
just a quick thing to mention as we start this podcast. We normally record these podcasts live on twitch.tv/streamsbadly. That's right, streamsbadly.
We rebranded.
There is a bit of a problem with that, is in that every time we go to make one of these and stream it live, the video is stuttering a lot, and I don't really know what to do about that. Because it's been fine before, but I just thought I'd mention it, because it means that we have trouble actually doing them live. So if anyone does normally watch them live, maybe you'll find out why that's not happening anymore. I can try and alter things.
So do we not stream it live at all then? We only record it now.
Every time we record it, I try and do it live, and for the past like 3 or 4, it's just not been working properly.
Okay.
So, there's not much I can do about it. I'll see if I can do something about it, but I don't know. Anyway, now that we've got that out of the way, you got anything else interesting to tell me, Judd?
Nope. I don't think I've really been up to anything else.
What do you think?
No.
What did you think about the boxing? How did you find it?
I enjoyed it. I definitely thought I definitely thought that like I'd need more improving like straight away. Like obviously I am gonna need a lot of improving because I'm not like good by any means.
Could you
but
move
like
your mic a little bit closer to your mouth and turn it down a couple little bits.
I can do that. But
Turn it down a little bit more.
I think you were saying I have picked it up quite quickly. Like you didn't have to. I don't think I think you expected to have to teach me more.
Yeah. It's like there's a couple little bits that you are kind of naturally just doing, which is good. For the boxing aficionados, when you first, like literally a first ever class teaching someone how to punch, it's rotating your body as well.
Yeah.
And then doing a little step into a jab, things like that, little tiny things like that. Those are 2 things that you were just already doing. And then there's some other stuff like rotating your fist and like a few other little snappy bits, like raising your hand to block one side of your face when you're punching with another, stuff like that. But
which I think that's the thing I need to remember the most. The thing I need to improve on most really is cardio.
Because
we
were doing literally barely anything, and just like I've got to stop, and I went no.
I got tired really fucking easily. I suppose I had been running up and down stairs all day, but also I am just a fat cunt that smokes a lot, so I'm not going to say that like I'm in prime condition to do boxing or anything. So
yeah, that is definitely your biggest problem. But we'll see how it progresses. As we go on. Only other thing that kind of has happened, there's a couple other bits to tell you that's not particularly interesting. Maybe people like it. We'll get to a more substantial thingy in a bit. That you're more likely to be interested in. So stick around for that. But general updates. It was Midsummer, and I think it still is currently kind of within the week celebration. I'm not sure, but last weekend is like when you do Midsummer celebrations, when people in Sweden do it and things like that. And so did I. It was fantastic. It was absolutely brilliant. Basically,
Nice.
we had a big barbecue, and my grandma and granddad came round, and I bought us a lot of mead and beer. I bought this massive Viking drinking horn, which I sent you a picture of.
Which mead, by the way, is fucking sick.
Mead.
I love.
Amazing.
I really thought, because we went to York not too long ago, me and some friends, and my friends I do like D&D with, my whole D&D group. We went to York, and we went to like this place called Valhalla, which is like a Viking bar, and obviously I was at a Viking place, so I was gonna get mead, like, you know. But I was like, I'm probably not going to like this. It's probably going to be really... Because you see all the Vikings drinking it in the big sort of tankards, don't you? And they're like drinking horns. Yeah. So I'm like, this is going to be like some sort of like rough this. This is going to be like some harsh drink. And then they brought it out in these little wine glasses. And I like looked at the glass and then looked at the waitress and then back at the glass. And I like felt like saying, "Oh, what the fuck is
Where's
this?"
the rest of it?
I was like, did you fucking drop some?
No, it's like same sort of strength as wine. So that's I'm not surprised they kind of serve it like wine.
Yeah, so I had some and I was like, what the fuck is this? It's really sweet, but I really like it.
Great.
I think I sort of like just like the normal sort of honey one, but we also had another one. It was called... Oh, I don't know if it was Hela or if it was because they're all named after different gods. One was like an orange one was more like of a cherry one. They were all really nice though.
Yeah, well, the cherry ones, I think, they're known as Viking mead. I think that's what you call it. So cherry's fairly common. I found out that rhubarb. They do a rhubarb one. That one's good.
Yeah.
I got a bottle of rhubarb and regular. I made everyone have a very small amount of mead to do like a cheers to start with.
Yeah.
And we decorated the table with like a white sheet, put some like flowers around it, a big flower thing in the center. I made like a kind of a tribute maple. So normally they dance around a quite a large pole with some kind of decoration strings on it.
Yeah.
But I had a very small pole and just hammered that into the floor, and we all did a little dance around it at some point. And I barbecued up some nice meatballs, some delicious fish. We had some potatoes.
Because we know how much the Swedes love those.
Yes, exactly. It was right. During all this lockdown, if you've been listening to the podcast, what I've been saying throughout it all is I can't wait for a fucking barbecue in the sun.
Yeah.
Just with like my grandparents or something like that. And it finally happened. And it was lined up perfectly with Midsummer. It was just brilliant. I loved it.
Good.
Enough of that shite.
It's about time.
Let's talk about awful, horrible things instead.
All right. I was just about to say it's nice when something just nice can happen, like, and nothing goes wrong, and then you went, let's talk about hell. Let's talk about the evil. Let's talk about the sea. Let's talk about the ceaseless pit of Abaddon. Come on.
Yeah, because we got that side.
Let's
now
talk about Beelzebub.
Basically, Judd, it's more house stuff, right? I've been trying to get a fucking house for ages, and we've had to pull out of another house.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I had a feeling like this was gonna happen. You know,
I told you, didn't I? I told you when we were boxing already. It's the second house we've had to pull out of. Basically, there's a very small park, not like a couple streets over. But that park's not owned by the council. It's not a public park. It's owned by a private company. So everyone in the estate has to pay to this private company. Only about £85 a year, maybe, which is not a lot, but it's a private company. So basically, they've got quite a lot of grounds to just charge you whatever they want every year. Some people will probably tell me, "Oh, it's not even that bad. What you on about?" But it is fucking bad. And anything like that where people overly control your life isn't great. Here's another response that people might have. Well, the government have so much control over you anyway. Yeah, and I don't like it. So I don't want to do another
Why would I want another cunt to have control over my life? Yeah, if the government already does it. Yeah, no, that's fair.
So, so that's a big part of why, and also the people who we were buying the house off of, they've been taking we've not earned much from them at all, and they've been taking a long time to try and find a house of their own, and we've got a deadline, so they can't just take forever. Yeah. So basically, we've spent another Oh god, it's another fucking about £17,000, which is a lot of money. To
You've actually spent that. That's gone.
No, it's the house that we're going with now. We've got an offer accepted on another house now, a third house, and it's about 17 grand more, which it's like 7 grand over our budget. But we're gonna try and make it work, and yeah, it's. What I will say though is it's fucking gorgeous. It's fucking good.
That's nice. Is it near me? Was that one you were talking about?
No, it's not that one near you. It's as near to you as my house currently is, but in the opposite direction. So it's more rural. It's out at way more.
That's a good thing.
And honestly, when you come to stay, whenever you stay. You'll be honest. The room you'll have biggest room in the house. It's massive.
Oh, nice.
Honestly, it's huge. The spare room it's in the attic, and it's huge. I'm trying to think of like how big it'll be, how I can describe it.
I was kind of looking forward to my little Harry Potter cupboard under the stairs. You know,
I have one if you want.
Yeah, we've got this big bedroom for you to stay in, and I'm just like bringing a sleeping bag like under the stairs and just tuck it in like a little cousin. Go, no, I think I'm good.
I'm trying to think of a room that it's kind of similar shape to. Put it this way, right? The spare room is bigger than the living room at the house you're currently in.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's your idea that you get of it, and the living room is the same size as it. And oh wait, no, that's wrong. Don't worry about that. So yeah, anyway, it's a good house. It's got very fast internet. It's in a nice rural setting. The views, it's even got views. I didn't expect to have fucking views. It's got a completely done out cellar that would be my office, like the whole thing. Like it's honestly, I'll show you pictures after it. We'll not obviously show the address. We'll not show the pictures on stream, but I'll get Judd's reaction to it after we record the podcast. So, that's that house. It's fucking hell to organise. I hate it. It's one of the worst. Me and my girlfriend were saying, like, it's in the top 3 most stressful things you can do in life.
Yeah.
And we're a first-time buyer, so it's even less stressful. We don't even have to sell a house. So, the order is...
Yeah, imagine selling a house as well of having to buy one at the same time. I don't know how my mum's moved like 10 times, you know. I don't know how she's had the fucking patience.
Because, you know why? It's because she rents. She's not bought a house ever. So renting is a different story. It's a lot easier to move about when you're renting. So the order for top 3 stressful things is number third most stressful is
getting married. Did you just
married.
say number 3rd?
Well, I'm trying to like phrase it so idiots can understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
The 3rd most stressful is getting married.
Yeah.
Then it's buying a house, just narrowly below having children. If having children was confined to the same amount of time as it takes to buy a house, you know, if there was a same time frame on both of them rather than like 18 years on having a kid, then buying a house would be more stressful. Yeah. So anyway, if anyone has any house tips or wants to tell me how wrong I am, tweet at tweetsbadly and let us know. That's our Twitter account. I've got a fucking
house tip for you. I've got one for you.
What? Fine.
Just sleep under different bridges. Like, why not?
Why don't you do that then, Judd? You do that.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna
tell me how it goes.
No matter how rich, if I got mega rich, I'm just gonna sleep under different benches and bridges because like it's still just gonna be like easier.
Easier in total than buying the house. Maybe actually, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe that's why, like, a good amount of homeless people actually choose to be homeless. Maybe that's why. Anyway, let's move on to the meat of this podcast and ignore that controversial opinion.
Can you repeat that into the mic, sir? That bit about homeless people choosing to be homeless.
Listen here. Click on that link that I've sent you. Click on that.
That personality test.
Yeah. What we're doing is, we are doing. Here we are. The 16 personalities personality quiz. This is a free quiz that you can do at home as well, I believe. It's to kind of give you like a personality definition. I thought this would be funny for me and Judd to both have a go at doing as we go through it. It should take about 10-15 minutes to go through the quiz, and we'll talk briefly about it.
I was just gonna say we're gonna like just blaze through it, or we're gonna talk about what's going on.
It might make the podcast a little bit of a long one, but it'll be fine. And then we'll kind of talk about it afterwards, I think. But anyway...
We've not got anything to talk about in this episode anyway. That's why Jake's got a personality
Exactly.
test.
This is on my list of backup topics.
Yeah.
We've got a voice acting challenge, and the stupid school nicknames we had at school. So we'll do those at another time.
I had a fucking book full.
Anyway, first question is... It says so on one side it's agree, the other side's disagree, and there's like 3 scales of it. So there's neutral on the first dot on the left is agree. Then there's another dot on the left that's even more agree. Then there's a third dot on the left that's even more agree. Then to the right of the neutral dot you got disagree, even more disagree, then even more disagree. You know? Do you get what I'm picturing here? What I'm trying to get?
I mean, I do because I'm
not talking to you. Dude. I'm talking to the audience. I'm trying to listen to him. Trying to project my mind in the future. Do you get what I'm saying, audience? Okay, I know most of you said no, but that's probably a good turnout, actually, believe it or not.
Yeah. Wait, to be honest, we didn't even expect anybody to be watching, so the fact that any of you replied is just miraculous.
Estimated audience size of 4 now, Judd. I reckon at least half of them know what I was saying. Anyway, right. You are more inclined to follow your head than your heart.
Oh, wow, that's not what I'm looking at.
Oh.
Mine says you regularly make new friends.
It must have mixed them up. This is fine. We can do it like this, I think.
Right, okay. Okay.
So okay, if you... Tell you what, oh, God, I don't know how to do this then. It's fucking annoying. Why have they done it like that? Anyway, don't mind that. We'll read them out and just talk about each one. So I've put... Let's label it like this. Agree 1 is the smallest agree. Agree 2 is the middle agree. And agree 3 is the strongest agree. And same with disagree.
Okay, all right. Could we not say strongly agree, or slightly agree?
Yes, I like that better.
Or just neutral.
Yeah. So for me, you are more inclined to follow your head than your heart. I've put agree. Yeah, not strongly because I try and use emotions as well. But yeah, what was yours?
Mine was you regularly make new friends, and I think Jake already knows the answer to this one.
Yeah,
I put strongly agree.
Yeah, that
because it's I can make friends with, and this isn't just me being like big-headed or anything. Jake will attest to this. I can make friends with any type of person, really. You'll see it in my friends group. I've got friends who are like metalheads, people who are like older lads that work on like brick sites, like chavs, nerds.
I would take it further and say it's hard for you not to make friends.
Yeah, it's actually hard for me not to make friends. I'm sure in some instances I've tried to make enemies out of people and then probably literally and figuratively ended up in bed with them.
Anyway, moving on. Mine says you usually prefer doing what you feel like at any given moment instead of planning a particular daily routine. I would put disagree on that.
I'd put disagree for you. Yeah, absolutely.
What you got?
Mine is you spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest.
I don't think you explore many topips, not gonna lie.
No, you know what? I feel like I'm gonna put neutral with that because I do tend to get sort of really wrapped up in sort of like nerdy topics a lot of the time. So like I'll just discover like a sort of franchise or a fan base or something. I'll go, oh, what's this? And then I'll like bring up the wiki and I'll get more into it and stuff like that. So I do feel like
if I were taking it for you, I'd put slightly disagree, but you've got to put what you think. That's
I think I'd put neutral because I also do think I'm incredibly a creature of repetition. I've played BioShock 15 times.
Well,
I have beaten BioShock. There's a
lot of these, so we need to get through.
Okay.
My next one is you rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. I'm going to put slightly disagree. I don't really give a fuck much, but the thing is the way the world's set up, it logically makes sense to worry about impressions because it matters so much. Naturally, I don't feel predisposed for that, but because the world's set up in a way that you kind of have to worry about that, I tend to bear it in mind.
Okay. Mine was seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. And I'm going to put like slightly disagree with that because like if it's other people, I like people who aren't involved in my life, I truly don't care. But like if it's people I know, then yeah, I feel like I could. It upsets me when I see people I know and I like cry.
I've seen that question before, and I've put strongly disagree.
You don't cry. You don't cry at anything. I've never seen you cry.
No. I don't cry. Even if someone I utterly care about is crying, it's if anything, it makes me want to cry less. Just because I want to kind of
be
focus
strong
on
for
them
that
more, I
person.
guess.
Yeah.
But I just feel awkward as well. Anyway, next for me is you enjoy participating in group activities. I'm gonna put slight. I don't know. It'd either be slightly disagree or disagree. I'm gonna put slightly disagree because I don't. It's not. It's not like I'm an extrovert. I tend to enjoy my own company a lot, but I don't know. I like to do fun events for people who I like, things like that, like organise midsummer celebration, things like that.
Yeah, mine was you often make a backup plan for a backup plan. Now, it's weird. It's weird because in my head, I kind of do this. Like, I get paranoid about stuff a lot. So a lot of my time, I think like, oh, what if this happens? Oh, well, then probably this will happen. And I do that in my head a lot. But actually putting things into motion,
you don't plan anything around it.
No,
you just think,
I don't plan.
Yeah.
I think I probably think like, oh, I get worried that stuff's gonna happen, and maybe sometimes I will try and think of ways to plan around it, but I won't actually put those plans in motion. So usually I just sort of fall through situations.
And because you're really lucky.
It's like a forward fall in motion. And because like my Fallout New Vegas character build that God did for me was that he put every stat to 4 apart from luck and charisma, which he put on 10. It just works out for me. So I'm gonna put probably disagree.
Yeah. My next one is you like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretation of the ending. I'm going to put disagree. I don't like stuff like that. I don't like stuff like that.
Yeah, you like to be told how it is, don't you?
I find it infuriating if there's not actually something that happens and you just have to say, well, I feel like this is what is... No, I don't want to feel like it. I want to know. That's bullshit. But the thing is, I don't put strongly disagree because I like to have seen a fair amount of those so that I can have this mildly angry debate with people about them. So that's why I wouldn't put strongly disagree, but I do disagree.
It almost works in some cases when, like, where it's games like, there's multiple endings. That's not so bad, is it? But it's more like
it depends though, because if you think about a game like Mass Effect that carries on, I've said this before. I want to play the version of that's canon, so that when I play the sequel, I know I'm following what happens in the story, rather than I make a bunch of decisions and then the developers decide no.
Because it's like we Life is Strange. It's like a lot of people chose the blue-haired one, I can't remember her name, to keep her alive instead of sacrificing Arcadia Bay. Yeah. And in the actual story, there's no certain story. I think because more people chose to sacrifice Arcadia Bay, that's sort of what they go with. But
I know, it's annoying because games like that have to be standalone, really.
Yeah.
As in, for example, think about the Fable series. They don't carry on from each other in the story. You start a new character. It might be a different, interesting things that happens, different settings.
Chloe, her name was Chloe. Yeah, there we go.
Anyway, moving on. Is it you next?
Yes, you usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. I'm going to put strongly agree with that. I very much just I feel like stressful situations, as long as you keep a clear head, that you can see a way forward to the end a lot quicker.
I'm not sure I've ever seen you be stressed.
No, I get inwardly I get stressed quite a lot, but outwardly it's like, right, okay, this is going to go a lot smoother if I just don't lose my head over it. So
Right.
And I'm
my
a
next
very
is-
laid back, natural person. Like I will just sort of just go with the flow. It's it's whatever. Just be chill. Just be chill.
Next is your happiness comes from helping others accomplish things rather than your own accomplishments. This is a weird one. I'm going to put slightly disagree. A little bit selfish, I guess, that. I'm only going to put slightly disagree. I think for a long time in my life, it would have been agree or potentially strongly disagree. Disagree or strongly disagree. I kind of put my own accomplishments first, but with the way the world's set up, it doesn't want you to achieve things. So I kind of redirected what my life was about to be more about caring for the people that I care about.
It kind of sounded like you were spitting out those words. Then it's like you're going caring.
Anyway, next. Bear in mind, Judd, we're only 30% through this shit. So.
Oh shit. Okay. At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new peoples and mostly talk the ones you already know. You know that's a fat. Strongly disagree.
It's a weird one though, because you will also talk to the ones you know.
Yeah. No, I'll talk to the ones I know. Yeah, no, of course. I include everybody. I include as many as I can. Oh, wow. No, actually, we're only... this is saying I'm only 10% through this thing.
Oh, right. Let's just keep going then. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it thinks I've done more for some reason.
Yeah, I think you're like a bit far forward.
Anyway.
Could this not just be the rest of the podcast? Could this not just be like a long-ass podcast?
Yeah, it will be.
Okay, all right, fair enough then.
Anyway, next for me is you are interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what to try next. I'm gonna put disagree. I'm good at weeding out what I'm more interested in than other things, I think. So I'm good at prioritizing what I'm most interested in at the time.
Mine is you prefer to completely finish one project before starting another. I'm going to put strongly disagree. Jake is going to be able to see this, but obviously people who aren't watching the podcast won't be able to see it. But Jake, take a look at my table. Look at how many
you've got like unfinished beers next to each other. You couldn't be asked to finish one of them.
Oh no, they're all empty. They're all empty.
See, at least that's one project you can finish.
Yeah, but look, I mean, I get started on some of them, and sorry, the camera's not right. I get started on some of them, and then I'm starting whatever the fuck these things are now. I'll go through stages of like, oh, I have inspiration for this thing, so I'm going to work on this thing now. A lot of the times it's music. Like I got into a band called Mindless Self-Indulgence recently, which is just really sort of almost I want to say like prefers sort of like metal, like fast metal, I want to say. And there's an army in Warhammer 40k that really sort of fits that sort of genre of music called the Emperor's Children. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. Because
you also do stuff like you'll start playing a game, still kind of be interested in it, but think, nah, I'll just play BioShock again. Oh, nah, I'll just play Borderlands again. So you'll kind of go back to doing the same projects over again and not finishing new stuff that you start.
Yeah, but I do both of those things. So
anyway,
I'm putting disagree.
Next one is you are prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worse. Now, I am so on the verge of saying strongly agree, but I'm gonna just put agree. I do worry about these things.
One of your greatest mantras in life is something will always go wrong.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, it will. Something will always go wrong, and it's most likely to be if you've got if you think there's a 50-50 chance. No, it's going to be worse than that.
It's more like 70-30. If you think there's a 50-50 chance, it's more like 70-30. Yeah.
Yeah, if something can go wrong, it's more likely to go wrong in most scenarios. That's kind of it's a purposeful pessimism.
It's Murphy's Law, isn't it? I think it's Milo Murphy's Law, where it's like if something can go wrong, it will go wrong.
Yep.
I think it's the same. You are very sentimental. I'm gonna put slightly agree. Slightly.
I think that makes sense for you.
Yeah.
My next one is you avoid leadership roles in group settings. I'm gonna slap that right in the middle of neutral there, because I think you've known I think you've seen me in some sort of smaller group settings. If there's kind of a task to be done or a creative task, I like to lead on that, don't I?
Yeah.
And when we do stuff, I guess that's a group of two. I tend to lead on whatever we're doing, as I do here and everything on this podcast.
Well, yeah. Usually, whenever we've done projects before, you've wanted to be. Most of the times you get me because you want me to be an actor in something. So you'll direct me and tell me what to do,
Yeah.
and then I'll act it, and I'll listen to what you have to say, to what you want to get the right thing. Like when we were doing the music video for Meltdown for Behind the Screen.
Yeah, it's I tend to in that, but having said that, it very much depends what it is. So in it, like if we've got a big company meeting at work where everyone in the company is in it, and then they put us into little groups to do like little group discussions, I will not lead that.
Yeah,
I will not lead that. So there's plenty of stuff like that I don't like to lead on. And even like if we go on a night out and there's say 3 to 4 people that we all know quite well, I'll kind of lead the night out potentially, because there always is someone. But say it's a group of maybe 6 or 7, a bigger group.
Yeah,
I won't lead that. That's not for me to lead. I'll just get drunk quietly to wherever we go. So and maybe probably just talk to 1 or 2 people in the group. So yeah, that's why I'm neutral on that. Your turn.
You like to use organizing tools like schedules and lists. I'm gonna put probably slightly disagree. I used to be disagree or wait, no, sorry. Yeah, I used to be disagree or strongly disagree. Now I actually am more slightly disagree. I do actually try to. I've got a lot of things going on. I've got a lot of prior arrangements.
It's got to the point where you can't not.
Yeah, I actually can't not. Like it's like okay. So Mondays we do.
I don't need to know your life rundown, Judd. We're not going off time.
Okay,
so just so you know,
all I'm saying is like I've got so many priority and so much things that now I actually have to.
Yeah, and that question for me would have been a strongly agree. To every degree I do that. My next one is, you are definitely not an artistic type of person. I'm quite heavily an artistic type of person, I would say. I'm not sure what it means, though, because I'm also quite a process-orientated quite a person. So I would say, if it said I'm a very process-orientated person, I'd say strongly agree. If it says I'm artistic, I also think strongly agree. So it says you're definitely not, so I'm going to disagree because I definitely am. Strongly disagree. I definitely am artistic.
Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Actually, I'm going to put agree with that because, like, if I fuck something up, I fucked something up earlier. I had to take these. What were they? They were like Fincoat. Not angle beads, Fincoat stop beads, something like that. I had to take them from one site in Leeds to another, and I got the wrong ones. I got like neck on edge beads instead of these other ones. And after I took them up, and they were like, "No, these aren't the right ones. We need these ones." All the while, when I was walking back to this other site, I was thinking, "What the fuck am I doing? I should know this. Yeah, I should know that. I've been in this game for 2 years."
Having said that, I don't think you start out with a lot of confidence in your abilities. I think you're happily not particularly competent. Is how I'd phrase it.
Yeah. The thing is, though, the thing is, when I start something, I go, okay, I'm new to this. There's going to be mistakes, and that's fine. But when I've been doing something for a long time, and I like to consider myself good at it, like I do like to consider myself good at a job. Like I do good at my job, because whenever I'm asked to do something, I will get it done. Like I have to get it done. I hate leaving anything work related or not done. So just when I fuck something like that up, I do start to be like, I should know this now. I'm good enough at this.
Right then. So, next is, you think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on their feelings. I'm going to put... it depends how much more, because it can't be complete. I feel like if I say strongly agree on this, that means I think we should only rely on rationality. And I don't think that. I think we should very mostly rely on rationality.
No, I think you could put strongly agree with that, because there's so many people nowadays that are just that are only relying on the feelings and think that the people that like slightly bring up like a good argument but argue against feelings, they think they're the fucking devil.
I think
So
I think it'd make a huge difference if people did as well. Yeah, I'm going to put strongly agree. I think that'd be massive. Well,
you feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. So if it's just I like what music you're in. I like your tattoos. Well, you know, if I'm just making friends, yeah, I'm absolutely fine at that. If I'm trying to get with them, if it's especially if it's a girl I'm trying to talk to, no, I can't do it. I just can't.
I think you seem confident doing it, but it just don't work.
Yeah, I'm putting agree because like in most circumstances, yeah, I'm fine with doing that. I'm fine with talking to new people, but especially if it's a girl and I want to like, you know, try and flirt a bit or something, I can't do it. Not doing it.
I have. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. Strongly agree. Definitely.
I've seen your fucking bedroom, you liar. You liar!
I know. You can kind of see some of my room now if you're watching the video version of this podcast, which is available on the Streams Badly YouTube channel. You can get it there. There you go. If you want to listen to only the audio version, you can get that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the good podcast platforms. But but that's the thing. I can define what's a chore and what's not. I don't have to tidy my room. Like, that's not something I need to get done, you know?
Okay.
It can be messy. So it's not a chore. Well, I suppose it is, but it don't need to be done, so like I can relax.
It's
like,
not
you know,
an immediate problem for you, like
I don't. It's not for someone else that I've promised them. It doesn't cause me any problems really. It's just I want to do it, but like, you know what I mean. So maybe I should put agree instead. But I'm going to put strongly agree.
I think you should put agree.
Go.
You are not too interested in discussing various interpretations and analysis of creative works.
I am very interested in doing that. I love discussing shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna put agree. Yeah, I'm gonna put agree. And
we've literally got a spreadsheet based on that type of thing.
Okay.
I've got on here. I've got one that says you enjoy watching people argue. Now, this is a difficult question. I love debate.
No, you do, because like all of your favourite shows are like fucking X on the Beach and stuff like that.
You like shows like that.
You like to watch all, especially if they're awful people. You love to see them.
But it depends because watching people argue can be so unproductive.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to join in the argument sometimes. It's only watching. But then people get pissed off at me, and then that's really annoying. I'm going to put neutral, to be honest. There's a lot of scenarios where I hate watching people argue.
You've got to at least put slightly agree with that one, I think. You've got to put at least slightly agree.
Fine, I will. Go on.
You are more inclined to follow your head than your heart. No, disagree. I don't think before I act.
You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself. Again, I'm gonna put neutral because there's creative works that I like to do, and I like to draw, and I have to draw attention to myself to draw attention to those something that I've made. But if it's something I don't find like worthy of attention, I don't want attention. I want to be left alone.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm kind of got. I guess you could say I'm agree and disagree. So
it's like when you're doing your creative stuff, you're like, look at me, and then after you're like, stop looking at me.
Yeah. It's like if all I'm doing is like, say what I'm doing is working out and getting abs. I'd be like, don't look at me, I'm hideous. You know? But if I've made something, I'd be like, look at shiny thing. You know?
Yeah.
Next.
You usually prefer just doing what you feel like at any given moment instead of planning a particular day or daily routine. Strongly agree. I love to just be able to do things. I don't. Even though I'm putting myself into this, right? Monday is this, Tuesday is this, Wednesday is this. I fucking hate it because I love to just have an open day where it's like, right, you can do whatever you want with this day. You can just lounge around. You can paint some models. You can maybe go out drinking. You know, you can talk to some people, go have a game. I like the day to just be like full of possibilities.
I've got your mood can change very quickly. I'm gonna put agree. It can. It's normally based on factual factors, so it's not like I just have mood swings. But because for me everything's based on logical, factual, measurable things, if factually the situation has gone from being really shit to really good, my mood will change from really shit to really good.
Yeah.
But if it's the other way around, it'll change. So like it can, but like there's a bit of a caveat to that. That's why I've not put it strongly agree, because I feel like that'd mean you're just always changing your emotions.
Yeah. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on the people you meet. No. That's a hard one.
I don't.
That's a hard one. That's a hard one, because I really like to make friends, and I really like knowing, like, I like my friends to always view me in a good light, but at the same time, I'm not gonna do anything about it. Like, I'm always just gonna be me. So I'll never change the way I act. I'll never twist myself in a way to. Maybe I will a little bit in certain situations, especially if it's sort of like this group of friends prefers dark political humor. You know, they like things more like on the right hand of the political scale. And then I've got another group of friends that are more left leaning. So it's like I can't say this thing in front of these people. So then I do a bit, but it's never to a point where I'd ever change me as who I am. So
I didn't listen to a single word of that. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna put slightly agree.
I was distracted by that girl from Germany crying at losing at football. Can't believe you're like pouring your heart out, and I'm like, small girl cry.
Oh, fuck him, dude, honestly.
Anyway,
it's coming home.
here's a big one for me. You lose patience with people who are not as efficient as you.
Yes.
I think I'm at the point where I can put that as agree rather than strongly agree.
Okay, yes.
Because I've had to learn to deal with that. That's something I've known has been something that's bothered me a lot. And do you know what? It still does. And I think at this point it bothers me to a healthy degree. Not to throw her under the bus, but my girlfriend isn't as efficient as me in a lot of ways. But like, I have to. You can't fully blame people. It's like, I don't know. It sounds cocky to phrase it like that, but I'm more well-meaning with it than it seems. Next,
do you try now instead of you just being angry at people for not being as efficient as you? Do you try and make them more as efficient as possible?
Well, that's not necessarily fair either, and people get pissed off at you for doing that. So I kind of just be, I don't know, a bit more understanding. It's difficult. It's not something that you can say, I try and do this instead. Each situation needs tackling in a different way, so.
It's also like I'd never mind. I've never minded that with people, because if there's room for improvement, then I should be making it my duty to improve. Like it's like with boxing. Like I can't just show up and expect to be all right at boxing. I need you to tell me what I'm doing wrong so I can better myself.
I've had to learn to be more emotionally in tune, because I find that very difficult to be in tune with how people's emotions are kind of being at play. But I know with you, I can have no holds barred. I can tell you how shit you are. And I can literally like knock you down on your ass like I did in boxing and show and go, you did this is because you did something wrong, and it's fine. Whereas with Jasmine, she gets more hurt by it. I wouldn't say she takes more offense at it, but she feels it more. You know, it feels more negative to her. So I kind of have to bear that in mind when I'm trying to be nice and help people build themselves up and try and not get annoyed.
I think this has come from me being your brother as well. Now that I know that it's like you're doing this wrong. You need to do it to improve, instead of people seeing it as you're doing this wrong and that makes you a bad person. And I hate.
Do you know what I think has helped with that is that our dad, when we do something wrong, does go, you're doing this wrong, but he didn't necessarily try and help us too much. His response was, you're shit, ha ha. That was it. Exactly. Whereas I think it made it easy for you to tell the difference when I'm going, you're doing this wrong. There you go, look how to do it better.
I get it.
Move on, next, go.
You enjoy participating in group activities. Yes, agree. I like being in big groups.
I
And
think
I
we've
like
got
lots
that
of
one.
people having
You
fun.
often end up doing things at the last possible moment. I'm going to put disagree. Sometimes I tactically do that, but I tend to, know what I'm doing beforehand.
Yeah. You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretations of the ending. No, I'm going to put that as disagree, not strongly disagree, because I think there's some cases where that can be done well. But I'm also
You're
in the
similar
same
to me
sort
with
of
that, aren't you?
yeah, where it's just like, well, I want to know what happened. I just want to know. So
I've got
I like stuff to have a mystery to it,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
things like Silent Hill. Like a lot of that's mystery. But
Yeah.
I also hate the idea of Hideo Kojima like leaning back in his fucking chair, looking all smug, going, why don't you tell me what you think happened?
Exactly.
Like,
It's so
no,
stupid.
tell me, Kojima.
Yeah, I want a really intriguing, cool mystery concept, and I want that mystery to be resolved and be still very interesting. That's the actual challenge. Anyway, next I have, you have always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. Yeah. That's an eternal mystery that's very interesting. Your answer's probably going to be horrid, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm halfway there, Judd. Let's keep going.
I don't think I am. Your happiness comes more from helping of. Oh, okay. So now I'm catching up with you. Yeah. So helping others. Actually, I'm going to put that as like agree.
What percent are you
on? Now after that one, I'm on 30. So
let's power through some of yours until you get to 50%, and then we might be on the same.
I'll catch up. Okay, you're interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what to try next. Strongly agree, as we've already said. You are prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worse. Again, strongly agree. I do it all the time. I'm constantly thinking about what can go wrong. It's just I make no active effort to avoid those things. You avoid leadership rules in group settings. I'm going to put, in some things where I genuinely do feel absolutely confident, I will take the reins.
You've been most of the confident in your Dungeons and Dragons, haven't you? But not really anything else that I can think of.
Yeah. And at work a bit, like this guy who I'm working with obviously doesn't know anywhere near as much as me. He's a lot newer to it, so I'm like in charge basically of all that stuff. So I've had to, but I would much rather just not be in charge.
Yeah,
but I still can do. You are definitely not an artistic type of person. No, disagree. I do me painting. I do a lot of writing. I do a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, you like acting. You've been you're not necessarily one to start creating things and come up with a project you want to do, but you will be involved with artistic
on my
type
Dungeons
things.
and Dragons thing. I've made like an entire world. Like it's entirely like new. I've not stolen anything from like any of the things. It's like this is brand new what I've done. So, but that's the only like big sort of project, and that's for 4 people. You think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on the feelings? I'm going to put agree. In the current state of the world, people need to fucking sacrifice their own self-interest and what they think is good for what actually is good statistically. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. Slightly disagree. It would have been disagree or strongly disagree a bit before, but now...
You tend to kind of want to just get to your relaxed place, don't you?
But the thing is, it's like, I want to get to a place where I'm like, all right, now I can relax. But the thing is, if I know the stuff to do, I have to do it.
Well, that's what I'm like, but kind of taken to more of an extreme. I think you kind of are almost happy to half-ass stuff to get to your relaxed point, whereas I'm not. I want to make sure it's done.
Like my bedroom can be a bit messy. I don't mind that. When I tidy, it's like I'll just keep it in a state of like a bit messy. But yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you enjoy watching people argue. I don't actually. I don't like watching people argue. I like people to be friends, so I've put that. I disagree. You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself. No, fucking. I'll put that as strongly disagree. Look at me! Look at me! Please look at me!
You're not even working out and getting ripped tabs, and you're going, look at me! Look at this! Look at me jiggle!
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm like. I'm like, look, I'm getting a dad bod. Look at this!
Look what's going on here.
Yeah, your mood can change very quickly. So, again, in my head, yeah, like I'll be sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to these things, and other times I'll be like, fuck, I'm gonna fuck, these things are going on, but outwardly I never show it. I'm always in a very outwardly. I'm on a very. I don't know if you've seen The Big Lebowski, but if you have, then the it's like a very the dude abides. Like I don't mind. It's just everything will be okay. Just people don't have to lose their heads. Just fucking calm down.
Yeah, that's why I don't think your mood actually changes very much.
No, I'm just gonna put it as agree. Hold on. Okay.
Wait, didn't it ask if your mood changes quickly?
Yes. Oh no, sorry. I meant disagree. Disagree. You lose patience with people who are not as efficient with you. I'm gonna put slightly disagree. Yeah. If it's work, yes. Yeah, just come on, fucking hurry up. I want to get the thing done. But if it's out of work, no, I'm a lot more forgiving, and I do have to start somewhere and they have to learn. But if I know that they're not putting the effort into learning, that fucking gets me angry. Yeah. Like, if you can put the effort, if you're shit at something, that's okay. Everybody's always shit at something.
I think we're both big on knowing how much effort you need to put into something and accepting it, aren't we?
Yeah.
And your philosophy after that is normally, I understand it, and I've decided I don't want to do it. Because I'm not willing to put in very much effort, and I understand how much effort things take. And for me, like this. I kind of realise it and accept it and still do stuff.
Yeah, it's like this with boxing. It's like, I know for a fact that if I stop smoking, my cardio will be a lot better, and I'd be able to keep up my pace a lot better. I'm not going to stop smoking. I realise that's the case.
I mean, you should.
And I completely. Yeah, I probably stuff as should. I'm not going to. So it's So
how long have we been going now?
Oh,
we've been going for 51 minutes, Judd, and we've not even done half of this. So this is gonna be a long fucking podcast.
Yes, you often end up doing things at the last possible moment. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So I agree. You have always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. Strongly agree. I actually think about that quite a lot. I don't. Yeah, I think about that quite a lot. You usually, I think, are we together?
We're at the same point now, yes. So if you can read them off, and then we'll both say.
All right. You usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. Agree. That's agree with me. It used to be strongly agree. Now it's agree.
I'm going to put disagree.
Isolation has sort of dialed it back for me a bit now, because before I was almost quite autistically like, I gotta get out of this house, I gotta do something. When I was young, I'd just stay in all the time. Like, when I was little, I'd just stay in and play on the PlayStation. So actually, it used to be that I'd only be on my own.
And then
when I got to about when I got to about 16, all the way up until like 20, I was like, yep, I want to be out. I want to be out doing stuff with my friends. I want to be going out and doing new things, or just going out drinking and stuff. Now, because of isolation, I've sort of gone back a bit, and now it's
that's kind of why I've put disagree as well, because I do prefer to do stuff with friends, and enjoy people's company.
Yeah.
You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. I'm putting strongly disagree. I love discussing things in that sort of.
We I don't know why we're even thinking about that. We do it all the fucking time. We always do. But what if this happened?
Our dad makes a joke of saying, "But what if this happened?" Like, because we always used to say, "What if I could shoot snot out my nose all the way to the moon?"
It's just the good questions to ask. Why aren't people asking these fucking questions?
We also I also tend to have those conversations with people, even when they really don't want to, and get cross at me for it. Next, you find it easy to empathise with a person whose experiences are very different from yours. I think I will put.
I'm gonna put agree.
I don't think you could ever put strongly agree and be telling the truth.
Oh no! You can never just be like, yes, I can fully understand people's pain, because it's you're never gonna understand what somebody's going through.
I'm gonna put neutral, because I was thinking slightly agree or agree, but then I thought emotionally I might find it quite difficult, but kind of logically I can see why you might be feeling that. So, and I don't think, I'm going to put in the middle.
You're like
you usually postpone finalising decisions for as long as possible.
I can see logically. I can see why your grandmother getting cancer would upset you.
Yeah,
I suppose the numbers do make sense.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to put slightly agree on postpone finalising decisions.
You usually postpone finalising decisions.
I'm going to put slightly agree because I try to give myself as long as possible to figure out all the information and make as good a decision as possible.
I actually like to have things set in stone quite early on, just so I can have like an idea of what I'm going to be doing.
So you don't have to think as much. Whereas that scares me that I've not thought enough. You know?
It's like somebody will be like, "Do you want to have a game?" Yep. I'll have a game. Yeah.
I like to post finalising things to have as much to kind of give myself as much time to think as possible, but I don't want to sacrifice the efficiency of the process for that, you know. So that's why I've only put slightly agree, because I don't want to do it to the point where I'm procrastinating. You rarely second guess the choices that you have made. I would agree.
Oh, sorry. I'm putting disagree for that last one. By the way, I didn't say.
I don't really second guess choices very much because I tend to get all the information first try, or as many information as possible. But I don't want to agree too much because I think you should always question everything. So
I'm gonna put strongly disagree. There's so many times when I do something and go, why the fuck did I do that? It'll be like it's like I had that moment when I was boxing with you and I was like fucking panting like a madman. I was like, why the fuck did I fucking say I wanted to do boxing? But I do it all the time. I just jump into decisions. But usually the thing is, if I don't just throw myself into something, I'll never do it. Like I've been wanting to do boxing for a long time, and I've just been wanting to do anything that'll be a fitness thing for a long time. But because I procrastinate and I don't really get around to doing stuff unless I literally grab myself by the collar and like throw myself into something, I don't do it. So
next, after a long exhausted week, a lively social event is just what you need.
Now actually I'm just gonna put slightly disagree now, because there's sometimes where like I'm like, yeah, I just want to get out and I want to get drinking, but if it's been a really hard one, especially if the Friday's been a hard one, I'm usually just like, fuck, I just want to not have to do anything.
With what it's describing, if it's long and exhausting, then I'm like, oh, I just want to rest and stuff. But if it's like kind of, long and boring and that, then you want
if it's long and boring, I want to get out and do something. If it's long and exhausted, I don't want to do anything. I want to stay at home.
You enjoy going to art museums. I agree. I like museums. I think they're fun.
Yeah, I'll put agree.
You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings.
No, I'm gonna put disagree.
I agree. Because feelings don't make any logical sense, do they?
Yeah. No. beep blop.
You have a to-do list for each day. I'm only going to put agree. I have quite a detailed to-do list, and I do have some, depending... I put anything that needs to be done at a certain time in my calendar to be done at specific bits of each day, but each day doesn't necessarily have one of those, if that makes sense. So
no, mine now we slightly disagree, because I kind of do have like a thing to do for each day, but it's almost like a skeleton to-do list. It's like, yeah, here's the sort of general gist of what's going to happen today, but we'll wing it. It's like that. So.
You rarely feel insecure. I'm going to put slightly disagree. I think
I'm going to put...
I feel insecure reasonably often, but not hugely
rarely
often.
Feel insecure. I'm putting disagree. I very rarely feel insecure. Like, I'm fit.
So
in fact, I'm going to put that as like strong... I'm going to... Oh, you rarely feel insecure? Oh, sorry, yeah. I'm going to put that as strongly agree.
I think your philosophy really is that you don't like, you know that you're not trying to be good, and you don't care about trying to be good or impress anyone, so it's hard to feel insecure when your goal isn't to be good in the first place.
That's the thing. It's like, I don't care about impressing anybody, so why would I feel insecure when I don't impress people?
You avoid making phone calls. Disagree. I don't really like calling all the time, but phone calls are very useful for getting information across quicker.
I prefer talking to people than messaging people. Though there are some times where somebody will call me for something, and then after the call, I'll just like think that could have just been a fucking text. That was a 5-minute phone conversation, and you could have just messaged me.
It's why I wouldn't strongly disagree. But do you know what's got me more and more annoyed as I've got older? And this is an old man thing to say. I get sick of my phone dinging all the time. Ding. Something like shut up.
I'm the same way, but especially because I listen to a lot of audiobooks, especially while I'm working. I'm listening to Game of Thrones on Audible, and when I'm on Snapchat, it gives you a notification when the person is typing and when the person has sent the message. And Audible likes to do this thing that
it gives you a notification when they've seen it, when they start typing, and when the message is sent.
Mine doesn't do that. It only gives you one when they're typing. But the thing is, Audible does this thing where there's a 2-second pause after every notification. It'll start talking about something. I'll be like, "Fuck, what's happening?" Somebody will start typing at me on Snapchat. There'll be a pause. Then he'll start talking again, and then they'll send the message, and there's a pause, and it's like, "Fuck off."
Oh god. You often spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from your own. I strongly agree. I am trying to do that constantly. Not only am I trying to do that, I love that. I love trying to do that. I think everyone should be a crucial part. Well, it is a crucial part, but people need to understand that more. You have to understand every point of view you can possibly grab at. So there we go.
I strongly agree, because not only like is it a thing to learn and build from, and like to understand different people's viewpoints. Like, you can understand where people are coming from if you understand their reasoning behind it. But also, it's almost like a know your enemy thing. It's like, I understand what you believe now. Now I can destroy it easy.
In your social circle, you are often the one who contacts your friends and initiates activities. I'm agreeing with that. I think that happens a lot, really. I think even you know that fairly often. I'm the one who comes up with an idea and tries to get everyone to do it.
I'm gonna put neutral, because it depends on what thing. I do like a lot of nerdy things, like, you know, I'll invite people to a lot of games of Warhammer and stuff, but more sort of like outgoing activities are things I'm usually invited to. So I'm probably neutral on that.
I've got, if your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. I'm gonna have to agree. It's kind of something I'm trying to work on. I think I need to do it a little bit less often than I do. But yeah. You cannot agree with that. You don't.
No,
really
I don't.
You just flow with things.
I'm gonna put. No, I'm just gonna put slightly disagree, because it annoys me. It annoys me when they're interrupted. Sometimes like a new thing can like precede it, and it can actually end up being better. But like, if somebody just cancels on me, then it fucking really annoys me. Especially because like I believe in sticking to, like, you know, your prior arrangements. So
you're still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. I'm going to put slightly agree. I try not to dwell on it too much, but you shouldn't not dwell on it. You should still remember your mistakes from a long time ago. You shouldn't, start falling back into them.
I'm going to put slightly agree. It used to the mistakes of my past used to bother me a lot more in the past, but now I try to. I still sort of like cringe and you know, when I think about have happened before, things that I've done before, mistakes that I've made, but like, you know, you can only move forward from them. So
you rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence and the meaning of life. Disagree. I always do that.
Yeah, always. I always do that as well. So.
Your emotions control you more than you control them. I'm going to put disagree. I am autistic, so sometimes, you know, I get some weird ones, but most of the time I'm ruled by logic, so...
I'm also going to put disagree, because, like, I do. A lot of things go through my head, but I very rarely act upon them. So
you take great care not to make people look bad, even when it is completely their fault. Disagree. It's their fault. You know. You know.
I'm going to put. I think I'm going to put slightly disagree. It depends how much of a bastard they've been. If it's an honest to God mistake, I might even put myself...
Even if it's an honest to God mistake, I'll make them look relatively bad for relative mistake. If it's an honest to God mistake, then I'll say, oh, right, you've kind of fucked that up, haven't you? But I guess it's fine. You know?
Yeah, I have actually, in sort of instances, like, just tried to cover things up that people have done, or sort of just make it better. Because I understand that people make mistakes, but if it's that they've been a cunt, or that they've done something genuinely hurtful or anything like that, then no, fuck them. But yeah, so I put slightly disagree.
Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organised and consistent effort.
Strongly agree.
I disagree.
Strongly agree. We've already said this. I just go this project, that project.
So I don't do that, but sometimes I get bits of depression that fuck my life up a bit. But generally, when I am in a work style, it is that. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take for them to feel disappointed in you. I almost strongly disagree, because I'm quite consistent. I'm going to put disagree because other people change, but if someone likes me, I don't think their opinion should change much, because I don't think I change much.
Yeah, I don't change much either, so I've just put strongly agree. I don't really change. I never tried to make myself better for...
No, that means you need disagree then, Judd.
That's what I said, disagree. I put strongly disagree.
Oh, you said agree then. It's a jumbly words. It's on the screen if you've got the video version for my answers, at least. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. Strongly agree. I have a job where I work alone most of the time, currently, and I love that part of it. I think that's great. I'm gonna put slightly. I'm gonna put disagree. Because I work on a building site, and I love the fucking banter, and I love talking to people. I love going into people. I love going into plasterers, going, all right, lads, you doing okay? How have you been? I like being friends with people, but also, like, sometimes especially when I'm stressed out from things that happen at work, I'm just like, oh, I just want to fucking work alone. And I am thankful for, like, the bits where I do work alone, so I can just get the job done myself. See, especially because for me, I'm so much more introverted than you, that even in my social time, I want to be left alone. Even in my free time, I want to be left alone more often than not. So when I'm working and I've got a job to do, I don't want to be bothered. I want just leave me alone. If I'm in more of, like, a negative scenario, the more I want to be left alone. Unless I need help, but, like, do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, moving on. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time. Strongly disagree. I think
strongly disagree.
Pondering everything is fantastic. Thought and discussion are potentially the biggest gifts that we have.
It's this one for you, Jake. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am.
Wow, Judd thinks that he's smart.
No. I don't think.
Still isn't.
I'm just saying.
You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling atmospheres than quiet, intimate places. Disagree. Sometimes I am drawn to them for a reason, but most of the time, naturally, I'm not.
I'm going to put agree.
Yeah.
It's
the difference in that you like Corp and I don't.
I fucking love Corp.
Reference, that is. You know at first glance how someone is feeling.
I'm gonna put agree. I'm putting agree. You often feel overwhelmed.
I think I do sometimes. I'm gonna put slightly disagree. Okay, you often feel overwhelmed. Often? Do I often feel overwhelmed?
I do.
I'm often.
I'm gonna put agree. A lot. I do. I do a lot of the time. Think, fuck, I've got a lot going on right now, and it just start to, like, get on top of me a bit.
And I get overwhelmed by general just existence sometimes. Thinking that, oh my god, people have allowed this to be normal. People have allowed this to be existence, and I get kind of overwhelmed by overarching things
how the world is.
You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. I'm going to put agree, because sometimes I tactically skip over steps, but I mostly like to approach things methodically. For example, in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you essentially form alliances with different regions across the country, and different regions have different kind of skill levels, and the number goes from I think it's 50 to 350, and even if my character's ability level is high enough for all of them, I am going from lowest to highest, and I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, like I'm going from lowest to highest. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. You know, so even in things that are casual, relaxing fun, I methodically go about my casual, relaxing fun.
Okay. So I'm going to put neutral for this, and the reason why I'm putting neutral is because with work, yes, everything must be done correct. Everything has to be perfect for my job. I'm also kind of the same with like my model building and stuff. Like I'm spending models on the money on these fucking things. I want them to be done right, but then also I'm a very like chaotic person where I just sort of like things to happen chaotically.
Chaos, Judd, you are very intrigued by things that are labelled as controversial.
I strongly agree.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, yeah.
Those are the most
occult,
interesting things. Not that like intrigued is the right word, because not interested in taking part in any of those. But I'm very interested in knowing about them, because they're the most kind of different, interesting things. Anyway, you would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more.
I'm gonna put agree, like just not like agree. If I think that like it'd probably financially be better for my life and you know stuff like that, then yeah, but also it depends on the other person
I'm
as
slightly
well.
Disagree for that, because it says someone else. Well, most of the time someone else needs things more. So for me, a good opportunity every month is taking my entire paycheck and spending it on myself. But you know, there's a lot of homeless people and poor people who need it more. Yeah, I'm not spending it on them all the time, you know?
I think you're dragging me down to neutral. I think I'm going to put that at neutral.
My whole point of that is, they might need it more, but I think the average person is not good enough to deserve it more.
Yeah.
So
I'm putting that neutral because I really like other people that I like to be happy, but also like you said, a lot of people don't.
Well, that's why I'm only putting slightly disagree, though, because like there is many scenarios where I might pass up an opportunity and kind of put it on someone else because they need it more. So, like, I don't know. It's hard to come up with one right now, but I do that for, like, people who are closer to me as well. But, yeah. You struggle with deadlines. I'm putting strongly disagree. It's very hard for me to think of a deadline that I haven't been able to work with very well.
I've put slightly agree. It used to be like agree or strongly agree, but now I'm a lot better with it now.
The reason I put strongly disagree as well, because I sometimes know that certain deadlines are gonna have social leeway. For example, I said 7 PM we would start recording this tonight, and I knew I was gonna be a bit late, and I could have made it so that I would have been on time, but I knew it wouldn't matter if I'm 10 minutes late. So I wouldn't class that as struggling with deadlines at all. I think that's, if anything, managing the deadline better to kind of take advantage of it, you know?
Yeah.
You feel confident that things will work out for you. I'm putting slightly disagree, just because I'm not confident in anything working out particularly.
No,
I purposefully kind of tactically go with pessimism to a certain extent to be more pleased if things do go well.
I've put strongly disagree because no, you know what? I'm putting agree. I'm jumping from strongly disagree to agree because the thing is, no, I don't think that things will go the way I'm expecting, but I do feel like I will always come out on the other end okay. Like things will eventually work out for me, even if things are terrible at the moment. Things will one day be okay.
That makes sense, and I think you've pointed me towards agree. Actually, you've changed my mind too. I'm putting slightly agree though, because I don't have as much luck as you, and I do think things will be okay in the end.
Yeah,
but
it's just for now things are shit.
Maybe not quite as okay as I would like.
But
they'll work out, I suppose. Right.
Yeah.
See results, Judd.
Hold on. There's this last question.
Oh,
your gender.
Oh, right. Okay, Right, so I'm going to tell you mine first because I'm less interesting, let's be honest.
Okay.
And I've literally taken this test maybe 4 different times just
Oh.
to see if it's changed, and it's never changed. I am what this site calls the architect, which is INTJ-T. Don't know what that means.
Okay.
There's a little rundown of like mind, energy, nature, tactics, and identity. So I'm 66% introverted and somehow 34% extroverted, which actually works out at 101%.
Nice.
Don't know how I've managed that. I must be brilliant. But yeah, that's quite consistent, I would say. I think that's pretty perfect in my mind.
Yeah.
I think that's completely right. Energy. So this trait shows where you direct our mental energy. 76% intuitive, 24% observant. I actually disagree with that.
Yeah, I've got a higher observant than you.
Yeah, I disagree. I think I observe and measure and do things. I understand why it might have thought intuitive because I think I am naturally good at certain things, which I guess they are interpreted as intuitive, but that's the one that I don't think actually is accurate. This one is definitely accurate. My nature, I'm 76% thinking, 24% feeling.
Okay.
That's true. Because my thinking is creating feelings too. So like maybe 25% of that thinking is deciding what my feelings are gonna be.
Yeah. Even your feelings are fucking beat, blow up, fucking judged and found wanting,
Yeah. Then I've got tactics. Speaking of judging, I'm 82% judging and 18% prospecting. And I'm happy with that. I think people need to be more judging in life. Judging fairly and reasonably, but judging.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know what prospecting means in this context, but identity-wise, it says I'm 49% assertive and 51% turbulent. I think that, I'm 50-50, kind of showing how confident I am in my abilities and decisions. I think that makes sense. I think that like I'm quite drastic in both ends, so I'm either really quite confident in myself or really not quite not, and I think that overall kind of, I guess that makes sense. So yeah, I'm an architect, Judd. I'm fairly, I kind of like that label. I think I like being an architect.
I'm a campaigner.
A campaigner?
Yeah. So mind, I'm 73% extroverted, 27% introverted, which I mean, energy, I'm 70% intuitive, 30% observant. So oh shit.
I'm trying to find all the different ones.
Okay, like which
personality types. I found it. So you're the campaigner, are you? That's one of the diplomats. So I'm one of the analysts. Obviously, we'll look at these in a minute. And you're a diplomat. So okay, continue. Then I'll.
So nature, I'm 36% thinking, 64% feeling. I feel maybe
I think that's about right. You know.
I think that maybe is right. I feel like that's okay. Tactics, I'm 28% judging and 72% prospecting. Identity, I'm 57% assertive, 43% turbulent.
Right, don't really know what that last one means very much.
No, I'm not too sure about that one
who
either.
Are both these things? So it says that a campaigner is someone with the extroverted, intuitive feeling and prospecting personality traits. These people tend to embrace big ideas and actions that reflect their sense of hope and goodwill towards others. Their vibrant energy can flow in many directions. That sounds pretty good. You embrace those ideas, but you don't necessarily initiate them, don't you? Which makes a lot of sense. And then mine says an architect is a person with the introverted, intuitive, thinking and judging personality traits. These thoughtful tacticians love perfecting the details of life, applying creativity and rationality to everything they do. Their inner world is often a private, complex one. And that, to me, sounds incredibly right. And it explains how we tend to work together. So it explains that I tactically love coming up with a creative, detailed idea, a big creating idea, and you enjoy embracing it and going with it.
Yeah.
So,
that works.
so the different ones that are in our block. So I'm in the analysis block. The other ones that are in there are the logician, the commander, and the debater. Now, I reckon I like a good debate, but I see why I'm more architectural, because I reckon the debater is extroverted as well.
Yeah. Also, you go into a debate with facts, like it's all strategic. And...
Yeah. So just to read out, so the logician, innovative inventors with an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. Commander, bold, imaginative, strong-willed leaders, finding a way or making one. And then debater is smart and courageous thinkers who cannot resist an intellectual challenge. And I have to say, I think I do resonate with the debater a bit, but I can see the difference. I can see why I fit more into an architect for sure. Your other ones are one that basically looks like a wizard. The advocate, who is quiet and mystical, yet very inspiring and tireless idealist. So they're ethereal and hopeful. Then you've got the meditator, who is poetic, kind, and altruistic towards people, always eager to help a good cause. So they're like the advocate, but they want to help. Then you've got the protagonist, who is charismatic and inspiring leader.
Just the main character of life. You know,
surely isn't that the one everyone wants to be?
Yeah.
There's the sentinels, who seem like kind of NPCs in a way. There's a numbers guy, a nurse defender lady, an executive teacher woman, and someone called Consul. Then there's explorers, who's definitely the Hufflepuff of these. I would say that your one, although it's coloured in green, is probably Gryffindor. I think.
Well, wouldn't that be protagonist?
Yeah, yours has got protagonist on. So I mean, your diplomats category. You know, because you're the campaigner who is part of the diplomats, and so is protagonist. So I think that's probably Gryffindor. I would say the one I'm in is probably Ravenclaw. Sentinels is probably Slytherin. And then Explorers is definitely Hufflepuff. Look at this. There's a bloke with a drill called the Virtuoso. There's the Adventurer, who's this painting lesbian-ass looking woman. There's the Entrepreneur, who's holding a sports bag for some reason. And there's just this woman shaking maracas called the Entertainer, which is interesting that, I've worked in a lot of entertaining stuff. And
I've worked in a lot of entertaining stuff as well, but whatever.
Yeah. What do we think then? Interesting, huh?
Sure, I don't really know what I was supposed to glean from this. But
you can read about it. So there's an introduction. So I'll just read some of my architect one. It says, it can be lonely at the top. As one of the rarest personality types and one of the most capable, architects know this all too well. Rational and quick-witted, architects may struggle to find people who can keep up with their non-stop analysis of everything around them. Fuck yeah. And then let's get to... And then I'll just do the strengths and weaknesses and then conclusion. So I'll list... I'll not read all the details about each strength, but I'll tell you this. So rational, informed, independent, determined, curious, and versatile. I definitely agree with all that. Weaknesses, arrogant... I think some people mistake arrogance for pride, and I don't think pride's always bad.
I think you're arrogant. I'll say that.
What I would say is arrogance is in the eye of the beholder. I think if you're capable and prideful, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, someone can just decide to interpret you as arrogant. So I think that's not something that a personality trait that someone has. I think that's an interpretation that someone else gains.
My sort of view on how you act has always been, he's arrogant, but he's right.
But that's the point. How can you be arrogant if you're right? It don't make sense. That's why I don't think that's a personal trait. I think that's an interpretation of someone. And it's why to say to someone, I think you're arrogant, don't make as much sense as saying, you feel arrogant to me. You know? Do you understand what I'm getting at with that?
Yeah.
Anyway, dismissive
Yeah.
of emotions, yeah. I think I am dismissive of emotions more so than most people. Again, though, and again, this is because I am this, profile. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing either. I think that it can be very useful to dismiss emotions, and that emotions are quite inefficient and not particularly helpful in a lot of ways. But I'm not going to say that is
humanity down and have them all as fucking automatons, you bastard man.
overly critical. Yeah, I think I find it hard to not criticize things. So there's a certain. But the thing is, I also struggle with setting like non-measurable boundaries. So how do you know when you've started being more critical than you should be? That's where I have an issue as well. Combative, and I need to understand this one. Architects hate blindly following anything without understanding why. Yeah. Surely that's just a good thing, though. Surely that you have to be stupid to just follow something without understanding it. Actually, no. I have just changed my mind on that. Because there's some things that do not make sense in life, but they are consistently true. As in, if you do something with you, something weird will probably happen. That don't make any sense. It shouldn't be any more likely to happen.
We've not talking about our audience that we had when we were boxing.
There was this weird woman walking past. She must have been on some sort of drugs.
I'm sure she.
This isn't middle of nowhere, like a farmer's field. Somewhere where you would, not middle of nowhere. This is like a farmer's field right next to a nice family estate. Not somewhere you'd think something like that happened, but But that's what I'm saying. Is that
just a lady on smack, just like walking around here, going while we were doing boxing. We're like, what the fuck is going on?
But this is what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense that should happen to you more than me, for example.
Yeah.
We put ourselves out there a fairly equal amount, I'd say, but it consistently happens to you much more, so I can't just say that that's not true, because the numbers don't lie, they prove that it is true. It doesn't make any sense that happens, but it does. So I kind of have to bear that in mind, even though I don't understand it,
Yeah.
So maybe I'm working on not being as combative as I naturally seem like. Romantically clueless. Well, I can't argue with that one. There's just not really much argument I can have to that.
You're better than me.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I think I just have been. That's an area where I've just been luckier, to be honest.
Yeah.
In that I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm very good at being in a relationship. I'm not good at the pre-bit.
Yeah.
I think I'm a good partner because I'm like, I'm quite logical and try and make a nice environment for people. Anyway, conclusion. I'll read the conclusion real quick. So it says, armed with powerful intellects and strategic minds, architects can outmaneuver obstacles that seem unbeatable to most, but their strengths, when misunderstood, can turn into weaknesses. That's definitely for sure. Because I have a lot of people bitch and say that, and hate on me for stuff that I see as a positive. And I'm not saying it is a positive, definitively, because that's impossible to say. But it makes problems arise. And keep them from reaching their full potential. Those misunderstandings end here. What you have read so far is just an introduction. We have a great deal more to tell you. Personality type. In reading through this profile, blah, 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 I think that's enough. Right, Judd, read yours. What you got? Do your introduction one first.
I didn't, there it is. It's at the bottom says start reading.
Just do your introduction.
Okay.
The first paragraph of that.
It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for, and if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love for your dreams or for the adventure of being alive.
I agree with that as well, I have to say.
Yeah.
Is that your first introductory paragraph?
That's in
the quotation marks, isn't it?
Yeah, that was that might have been the quotation
from someone else. That's not
Oriah Mountain Dreamer.
Right, okay. Yeah, but the one below that's not in italics.
The campaigner personality is a true free spirit. Okay. They are often the life of the party, but unlike types in the Explorer role group, campaigners are less interested in the sheer excitement and pleasure of the moment than they are in the enjoying of the social and emotional connection that they make with others. charming, independent, energetic, and compassionate, the 7% of the population that they comprise can certainly be felt in any crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Could you go click on the strengths and weaknesses bit and just list those?
Yes,
list your strengths.
I can. So I'm curious. Am I reading like the whole thing, or am I just saying
read, unless you need to understand what that means. But yeah,
no.
Curious.
So
I think that's a good thing.
Curious, observant. Apparently, I don't know too much about that one.
I don't know.
And energetic and enthusiastic, yeah. Excellent communicators, yeah.
I don't think you're always enthusiastic. I think you're definitely an excellent communicator.
It depends. I'm enthusiastic about the stuff that I love or want to learn more about. Other things, you know, like maths. No. Apparently, I know how to relax. Yeah,
I think you do.
Very popular and friendly.
Nice one.
Yeah. Weaknesses. You're gonna love this one. Poor practical skills.
Yeah, I don't think you can argue much with that one.
No. I'm not. I wouldn't even begin to. I find it difficult to focus. Yeah. Overthink things. Yeah. Get stressed easily. Yes, but again, I don't show it. I don't
think you let things stress you. Is what you're getting at. You kind of take on this stress, but then you're quite good at not.
Yeah,
you're quite good at like kind of diffusing it, and yeah.
Highly emotional. Yes, I am. But again, I try not to let that show to others or affect others.
And it doesn't necessarily mean highly emotional as in you like cry all the time at movies, but like it might mean that you're very passionate about things that you're into.
I do cry a lot of movies, as Jake can tell you, as he had to shush me when we were watching Endgame because I was sobbing that loudly in the cinema. Independent to a fault. Let me just read that one. Campaigners loathe being micromanaged and restrained by heavy-handed rules. Okay, yeah. They want to be seen as high... No, they want to be seen...
I think you're happy for like me to micromanage you with certain stuff we're doing because like you've submitted to the idea already, you know?
Yeah, okay. But that's in the betterment of myself. Not just having to conform to rules.
Yeah.
Because of rules' sake. They want to be seen as highly independent masters of their own fates, even possessors of an altruistic wisdom that goes beyond draconian law. The challenge for campaigners is that they live in a world of checks and balances, a pill they are not happy to swallow. Yeah, so it's that I don't like. It's, you know, it's this fucking numbers and this logic and shit.
And there is elements of that I have to agree with, as in I don't like that. Anyway, don't matter. Carry on.
No, that's it.
Okay, so your conclusion then, just your first bit before the image.
Okay, few personality types are as creative and charismatic as campaigners, known for their idealism and enthusiasm. Campaigners are good at dealing with unexpected challenges and bringing the light of those around them. Campaigners' imagination is invaluable in many areas, and including their own personal growth.
Cool.
So
yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. That's the 16 personalities thing. I think we've done probably too much of that, and this might be our longest podcast because of it. But
how long is that one?
We're currently on an hour and a half, an hour 33.
I think we've done a little bit longer ones before.
But yeah, there you go. Maybe next week we'll have some more information on some more interesting shit. Or maybe next week we'll have another stupid backup idea. Who knows?
Yeah, I want to do that voice acting one, to be honest.
Yeah, so
I'm looking forward to that one.
Next week we might be doing school nicknames, talking about that. We might be doing a voice acting challenge. Who knows what we'll be doing? All I can say is you should tune in because, I mean, what?
I wouldn't.
What the fuck else you gonna do?
Personally, I wouldn't.
Come on, let's be honest. If you've already listened to this one this far, you ain't got anything better to do. Come on, just tune in next time.
Fair. That's
fucking
fair.
idiot.
If you listen to this one all the way, then you truly are a boring person. You've got nothing else to do.
And on that note, it's the end of the podcast.